We start with breaking news out of New York City. Police are investigating an apparent attack outside a federal building in Lower Manhattan. Look at this video here. Investigators say a man armed with an airsoft rifle and commercial-grade fireworks targeted 26 Federal Plaza, which houses ICE headquarters and the FBI's New York field office. The suspect, though, is now in custody. Joining me now is Anna Schecter. She covers crime for CBS News. Anna, thank you so much for your time. So what more can you tell us about what happened this morning at 26 Federal Plaza, and what are investigators learning about the suspect and his motive?
Well, it was about 8:30 a.m. when something caught fire. It was an explosive device inside a garbage can right behind me at this building. And this federal building houses the FBI's agents here at the FBI New York field office, other federal officials who work on sensitive cases. This individual who was taken into custody is a known anti-ICE activist, according to two law enforcement sources. We also learned that this individual had some kind of a long gun that was actually an airsoft gun. So it looks real, but only shoots plastic pellets, and it was concealed in some kind of a shopping cart. And police took this individual into custody, and the investigation is being led by the Joint Terrorism Task Force.
Okay, so this is the second recent attack involving an ICE facility after the Phoenix shooting. So what are you learning about the broader security concerns around these locations?
Well, for the last several years, it has been a heightened threat environment for federal buildings like this, and in particular in the wake of this immigration reform effort by the Trump administration. Lots of federal agents deployed around the country, some of them not necessarily trained to carry out immigration enforcement operations. And so you've had terrible things happen. You've had a man shot dead in Minneapolis by an ICE agent. You've had other people shot dead in other states. We just had an incident like that in Maine. So you've had a lot of tension around this current administration's immigration reform. And on the flip side, you have anti-ICE activists who have also come out to protest, many of them peacefully, but there have also been attacks like this one that is currently under investigation. But my sources tell me that all signs point to this being motivated by a sort of anti-ICE ideology, a frustration with the current administration. But also this is a really sort of typical attack carried out by anti-government people. We've seen a slew of these types of attacks over the last few years.
Yeah. Anna, what does the scene look like right now where you are? And also talk to us about the response from officials.
Well, I'm standing right next to several police officers, and there are dozens of police officers behind me. There were choppers overhead. You had the emergency services unit out here in full force, and we've been interviewing them over the last few weeks. We have so much going on in New York City. We had a woman saved from the Brooklyn Bridge a couple of weeks ago. We've had other instances where emergency services had to go up and take people off the top of the Empire State Building. So just a lot of things happening here, a lot of big events, but a lot of incidents where law enforcement has had to engage. And this is yet another one of them. And I imagine you played that video from earlier this morning where you see black smoke, law enforcement engaging. This was a very tense situation earlier this morning. And thankfully, it appears no shots were fired. And I don't have any reports from my sources as to injuries.
Okay, Anna Schecter, thank you so much for your reporting today. I appreciate your time. And now I want to bring in former NYPD Sgt. Felipe Rodriguez. Sergeant Felipe, thank you for your time as well. What are you hearing from your sources at this early stage of the investigation?
Well, at this moment, what we have is an active, crime scene. It is an act of terrorism. Anytime that we have, any sort of explosion or what we call an improvised explosive device like we had here, it's going to be, investigated at the federal level. And, the investigation will carry on into federal prosecution. people have to realize that, even though at this time, thank God, we didn't have any major injuries or anything like that, just the fact that we use an explosive device is a heavy criminal charge. And will be, and at times can even be met with some sort of death penalty, case being brought against them.
Yeah, and we talked about how this building houses not only an immigration court, but also the FBI's new New York field office.
Yes.
Are there extra layers of security at locations like this?
That is, I gotta actually tell you from experience, it is one of the most secure locations that I've ever been to. I remember being a young detective and going for training with the FBI, and even to the fact that we had to go into different sections of the building. Even though we were NYPD officers, we were actually escorted by uniformed FBI police officers, which are also located in that building. So we have multiple layers of security and multiple federal agencies that are housed in that building. And the security is intense. Look at the outer perimeter. We've had all these barriers that are already in place. And if you look at the building itself, I mean, you can't go a couple of feet without being some sort of CCTV surveillance. And it's multiple cameras that are layered one on top of another. So it is one of the most secure buildings that I've ever experienced in my 31 years of law enforcement.
Okay, Felipe Rodriguez, we appreciate your insight. Very helpful when we talk about the broader situation here. Appreciate it. Thank you.